Today's session. Panel members today are Nancy Oman, Asif Khan, Eric Ho, and Ann McCauley. Our Deputy Secretary Treasurer is Ashley Varsho. As I did this morning, we'll let everyone know that this is Ashley's last meeting. She's taking extended time off, and we wish her all the fun in the world. We are also lucky to now have Nicole Ivanoff join the Scarborough team as the acting manager. She'll be taking over for Ashley in the future. And also Sarah Evans will be joining the Scarborough team from North York as their senior planner. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will be making their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connecting with a computer or their telephone and have the option of participating via video or audio only. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, or in some limited circumstances, the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons in public bodies are permitted to appeal decisions of the committee. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision. Today, I'll call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and/or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I'll comment when you're reaching the 5-minute mark. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept new materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address, and please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and make a presentation to the committee. Then, individuals, either in support or opposed to the application, will be invited to speak. Generally, we call on speakers in the hearing room first and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation, and when all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion, and the application will be taken into committee for a decision. Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, any conflicts of interest? Members, staff?
None from staff.
Okay. Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, do we have any deferral requests for this afternoon?
Through the chair, we do have deferrals, but before we get into deferrals, I'd just like to speak to Canada Post. For those of you listening and in the audience, just a reminder that for the January 16th hearing today, notice was posted through Toronto Star. This was due to the Canada Post strike. All notices were also available on the Application Information Center website, and the signs were posted on site. All this was done in accordance with the Planning Act requirements. The February hearing mailed notices will resume, and those are already underway. To your question, actually prior to the deferrals, I would like to make a note for the record, item 27. This item is 109 and 111 Prairie Drive. This application was included in the agenda in error. It is a delegated consent, and so the decision's delegated to the Deputy Secretary Treasurer. This decision will be rendered separately from the hearing. Going to the list of deferrals, the first deferral is item 21, 1891 Eglinton Avenue East. This is at the request of the applicant to continue their discussions with Engineering Construction Services.
Okay, thank you. I'll read this item into the record. Item number 21, 1891 Eglinton Ave East. This is an application to sever the property into 2 lots. The application was previously deferred to the November 13, 2024 hearing. Committee had before a draft R plan, presentation material from the agent, cover letter from the agent, area certificate, transfer easement, an arborist report, and 3 photographs of the subject property. We have staff reports from Community Planning, Engineering Construction Services, Urban Forestry, and Metrolinx. Do we have the agent online?
Through the chair, the agent is not online, but they have submitted their request via email, so you can proceed with the deferral.
All right, panel, do we have a motion to defer? Ms. Oman?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, at the request of the applicant, I think it's reasonable to grant the deferral so that he can continue discussions with engineering. So I move deferral, sine die.
Motion by Ms. Oman to defer. Do I have a seconder? Mr. Ho, all in favor? That item is deferred. Ashley, do you want to just continue on the deferrals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Through the chair, the next deferral is item 25. Item 25 is 56 Galloway Road. This is at the request of the applicant in order to address community planning comments and neighborhood concerns.
Okay. I will, again, just read this application into the record. This was deferred from the November 13th hearing. This is Part A is to sever the property into 2 residential lots. Part B is to construct a new 4-plex with a rear yard garden suite. Part C is to construct a new 4-plex with a rear yard garden suite. Committee has before a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, draft R plan, cover letter from the agent, 105 photos of the subject property. There is a letter from Councillor Ainsley. There are staff reports from Engineering and Construction Services, Heritage Planning, Community Planning, Urban Forestry, and Metrolinx. There is opposition from 43, 57, and 58 Galloway Road, 99, 102, 131 Toynbee Trail, 5 and numbers 5 and 10 Deerham Wood, numbers 4 and 12 Chantry Court, number 27 Newfield, and the Guildwood Village Community Association. Is the agent with us?
Through the chair, I believe the agent's staff is here.
Hi, come on down. Hi.
Hello.
Name and address, please.
Richard Wrigley, 69 Harris Park Drive.
Great, and you're seeking a deferral?
Yes.
And the purpose is?
So that we could meet with the community, get everyone's concerns out, and figure out where to go from there.
Okay, sounds like a good reason, thank you. All right, panel members, someone want to move a motion to defer? Eric?
Through the
A question, I was going to ask a question.
Oh, do you have a
about
question? I'm
this.
sorry.
I have a question just about the speakers. Is there anybody here or online?
Oh, my apologies. I didn't realize there were speakers lined up.
Yeah, through the chair, we have a number of people that registered in advance, as well as some people here virtually, if you want to go through them.
Are there folks here for this item? Okay, you can just take a seat. Sir, do you want to come down to the microphone, please? Apologize. Hi, your name and address, please?
Hi, name is Doug Hogan. I live at 8 Chantry Court, 8 houses away from the subject property.
Okay, we're not going to be, well, we may not be dealing with the item today. All I really need to ask you is, are you in support or opposed to the request for a deferral?
I support deferral.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience today on this item? Do you want to come down?
Good afternoon. I'm Maureen Jeva. I'm at 54 Galloway Road, and I support the deferral.
Thank you very much. Sir, are you here? Wanted to come down? Hi,
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Eric Webb, 131 Toynbee Trail. I support the deferral.
that's great. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming down. Are there people online? Oh, you have another one here. I'm sorry. I didn't see your hand up earlier. Hi.
Hi, I'm Mike Tullett at 6 Chantry Court, and I also support the deferral.
That's great. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, now we go online.
Actually from remote. I'm Geneva Prali from 60 Galloway Road. I'm also in favor to the deferral.
Okay, thank you very much.
Ms. Lee, you've been unmuted.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, can I have your full name and address, please, ma'am?
Yes, it's Kiki Lee at 3 Durham Wood. I'm in support of the deferral.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair, there's no more virtual speakers.
Okay. All right, let's take this into committee now. Does anyone want to move a motion? Eric?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through the chair, I'd like to move to defer this item, sine die, in light of the applicant's request to address the community planning comments and to have more discussions with the neighborhood concerns.
Great. Motion by Mr. Ho to defer, seconded by Ms. McCauley. All in favor? You have your deferral, sir. And thank you to those who came down to join us today. Appreciate it. Next deferral.
Through the chair, item 31, 262 Centennial Road. This is a request from staff to defer due to lack of public notice because the application was withdrawn and then reinstated.
Sorry, Ashley, which number?
Item 31.
Okay. 362 Centennial Road. This is an application to convert a garage into a garden house or a garden suite. Committee had before it a copy of plan, a survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and 9 photographs of the subject property. Is the agent online?
Yeah, we are online here.
If we could have your name and address, please.
My name is Raj. Yeah, this is regarding 262 Centennial Road.
Okay.
Actually, we have applied for the minor variance after that zoning department brought a issue on that building area size is as per the zoning is 60 square meter, and this is the existing building. They are converting as my house owner is converting as a second unit. This is 93 is existing, so we cannot reduce the size because of this existing building. So that's the reason we approached this committee of adjustment for the remedy on this part. And then
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think we're getting a presentation here. Are we not?
I thought he was
deferring this?
explaining why he wants a deferral.
I don't believe so.
Pardon me?
Staff is
don't
asking
need-
for deferral.
Staff
Oh,
requested the deferral.
Thank
through
you,
the chair.
Nancy.
You're welcome.
Sir, the reason we're dealing with your item now is that staff have requested a deferral of your application. Are you saying you don't want this to be deferred?
Yeah, because of, to be honest with you, we applied back in October, and then suddenly in December, we got an email from the planning department that as per the new law, this is acceptable, look like. So that's the reason they repeatedly ask us if we want to remove the minor variance, then we can remove. Then as per their advice only we removed. And then again, they said, no, this is not clear, then go back to minor variance again. So unfortunately, this file is tracking too long time. And then the original, I'm the applicant as a representative for him. The house owner is financially suffering to do the mortgage because of this file is staying for too long time. If you can look into this file today, is really, really appreciated. Because so much of confusion going back and forth on this file.
There appears to be, but what we have before us is staff suggesting that there has been a lack of notice. So your proposal wasn't circulated properly, or there was an improper notice for this application. So for us, when that happens, it's an automatic deferral. So we don't have any choice. We have to defer it. So I apologize. It sounds like you want to urgently get your project underway, but we're going to have to defer it so that you can issue proper notification under the Planning Act. Okay? Thank
Yeah,
you.
I can understand, but this is not our fault.
No, I understand it's frustrating, but unfortunately, it's important. Well, fortunately, it's important that the public get proper notification when an application is brought before us. So, I will.
Okay, so if that is the way, then we have to follow that way.
Yeah, we'll as soon as you satisfy the notice provisions, you'll be rescheduled here as quickly as possible.
Through the chair, we've already confirmed with the applicant that they're on the February 12th agenda.
There you go. So you're on February 12th.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll look for a motion. Nancy?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I move deferral of this application to the February 12th hearing because of lack of public notice.
Thank you. Motion by Ms. Oman to defer, seconded by Mr. Khan. All in favor? That is deferred. All right, the next item.
Through the chair, the next deferral is item 34 for Fieldside Drive. This is at the request of the applicant in order to continue discussions with community planning.
Thank you. All right, item 34, 4 Fieldside Drive. This is an application to construct a rear addition to the existing dwelling. We have a copy of plan, a survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 4 photographs of the subject property, a deferral request from the agent, and a report from community planning about deferral. Is the agent with us?
Through the chair, the agent is in person. If they could come to the podium.
4 Fieldside? No?
Through the chair, the agent's not here, but we have their letter on the screen, so you can proceed with the deferral.
Okay. Panel's going to get a motion to defer. Eric?
Through the chair, I move to defer this item, number 34, in light of the request from the applicant to continue discussion with community planning.
Okay, motion to defer by Mr. Ho, seconded by Ms. McCauley. All in favor? That's approved. Okay, is there any more?
Through the chair, the final deferral of the afternoon session is item 38, 49 Bob Marr Road. This is at the request of the applicant in order to revise their proposal.
Is the agent online?
Irfan, NIA Architects, 10 Milner Business Court, Suite 710.
Great, sir. You're seeking a deferral?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And the reason for it?
We are revising our proposal and we anticipate there may be 1 or 2 more variances.
Okay, thank you. I have a panel. Can I get a motion, Nancy?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I move to defer this item, sine die, at the request of the applicant in order to make revisions that could potentially change the variances before us
Okay,
today.
thank you. Motion by Ms. Ullman to defer. Do I have a seconder? Mr. Ho, all in favor? That item is deferred. That concludes our deferrals for this afternoon. Okay, we resume with item 22, 32 Aylesworth Avenue. This is, these applications were previously deferred from October the 18th and was rescheduled from the December 4th hearing. This is a consent to consent to sever the existing lot into two parcels. Part B is to construct a new detached two-story dwelling. Part C is to construct a new detached two-story dwelling. Committee has before a copy plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a draft R report, arborist report, a tree protection plan, a cover letter from the agent, presentation material from the agent. We have staff reports from engineering, construction services, urban forestry, transportation services, and Metrolinx. There's letter of concern from 23 Aylesworth and correspondence in opposition from 36 Aylesworth. Okay. Do we have the agent online?
Mr. Goldberg, you've been unmuted.
Thank you very much. My name is, Mr. Chair and members of the committee, my name is Michael Goldberg. I'm a principal of Goldberg Group, the planning consultants representing the applicant. Do you need my address, sir?
Yes, please.
It's 2098 Avenue Road, Toronto, M5M 4A8. If I can request, please, to put the presentation that we have relating to, that's it there. Thank you very much. If you can turn the page, please. Thank you. Members of committee, would you like a presentation?
Yeah, I think a short presentation, sir, would be in order.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, members of the committee. I was last before you last October it was deferred to enable some more consultation with community planning and to revise the building plans to bring them closer to the zoning bylaw. Following that deferral, we met with community planning. We discussed the various variances. I note that there is not any community planning comments to you because we were told verbally by them that they are now supportive of the application or have no objection to the application. We revised the plans and I can say there was contact made by the owner with the property owner to the north, with Mr. Willard Wong. There was limited communication with him because he chose not to have the communication with us. But if he does speak, I can respond to him or I can respond to his letter as well. So the resubmission that was filed in August of last year, it eliminated a number of variances and it reduced some variances. So for instance, it eliminated the variances relating to building length. It eliminated the platform size. We're no longer requesting a variance to the platform size. I know that the plans reflect an incorrect platform size, but we're not asking for that variance. So the ultimate plans will comply with the zoning bylaw in that respect, should you approve this application. The front yard setback was eliminated and the parking space dimension variance was eliminated. The reduced was as a result of FSI. In the original application, the building was longer. It also, the calculation included the calculation of the basement because of the grade of the basement. Now, the calculation does not include because the basement was deepened so that it is truly a basement according to the bylaw. The lot coverage was reduced and the height and the main wall height was reduced as well. That what is the same as the number of stories, and I just wish to explain to committee that somewhat of a technical variance, and I say that because the only part of what's considered the first floor is the 3.3 square meter landing in between the basement level and the first level. There is we had many discussions with the zoning examiner who prepared the zoning certificate about that, and they insisted that that 3.3 square meter landing represented a story technically in the bylaw, and that's why it's 3 stories. So it really is not a story in actual fact, it's being less than 35 square feet, but nonetheless, the rest of it is just a 2-story house with a deepened basement. Now, on the consent application, what you can see here, there's 2 6.1 meter wide homes that are being proposed. Today, this is the second largest lot on the block. Across the street, you can see a 15.2 meter wide lot. All the others are really quite small. Could you turn the page, please? Yeah, so this is the lot. You can see there's a lot of underutilization, and there's a lot of homes of comparable size at 6.1 meters. It'd be very similar to the lots to the south, which are at 7.6, and the range of lot sizes ranges from 5.8 up to the 15.2 meters in the area. From the minor variance point of view, I'll just say the variances are greatly improved. You'll notice that there are fewer variances. They're much closer to the bylaw. This is to permit 2 168.5 square meter homes at 1,813 square feet. These are not really large homes. You can see from the site plan that the front of the building now aligns with the adjacent homes. The rear building line aligns with the adjacent homes. And what is important is we satisfy all the other zoning standards relating to all the yards, the landscape open space, the overall height, and so on. And you can see from the site plan too.
Hey, sir, I'm just you've gone a little over your time. I'm just gonna ask you to wrap up, please.
Okay, you can see there's one curb cut of 3 meters wide, and that's to protect that tree. We're not taking away parking spaces because we're only showing one 3-meter curb cut. Thank you so much, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Panel, any questions on this application? Yes, Asif?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you, sir. Sir, I would like to draw your attention to variance number 6 and 5. Variance number 6 says 3 stories while 2 are recommended. And building height is 8.75. So you have just mentioned that there's a great difference. That's why it looks like 1.5 story, not 3. And the height is 8.75. So how do you justify that you are exceeding 8.75 over 7.2?
The overall height, I believe, let me just I apologize for that mistake. The overall height of the building is at 8.75. That's for the flat roof. And that is to, if you do the measurement on the 7.2 and you want a garage, you would not be able to have a second floor. So the reason why we have on these more narrow lots a garage and 2 habitable floors above it is to seek 2 habitable floors above the garage. The only way to meet the 7.2 meters on the flat roof design is to have 1 habitable space above the garage, and that wouldn't leave on this small lot very much floor space at all.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? I see none. Okay, let's take this into committee. Eric?
Through the chair, I think this is pretty reasonable an appropriate development for the lot this size. Looking at the applicant's agent has kindly showed us comparable examples nearby. And looking at the 5 variances, they appear minor. And so I move to approve this application, this item, subject to urban forestry conditions and Metrolinx conditions.
There's engineering conditions as well.
Through the chair, there's no engineering conditions.
It's
It's the standard ones, but
Standard
they didn't
en-
have any
standard engineering.
specific ones, yeah.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, thank you. Motion by Mr. Ho to approve with those conditions, seconded by Ms. Ullman. All in favor?
Thank you very much, members of committee.
This item is approved. All right. Item number 23. 72 Bexhill Ave. These applications were deferred as well from the August 22nd hearing and rescheduled from the December 4th hearing. This is a consent to sever into existing lot into 2 parcels. Part B will be to construct a new 3-story fourplex. Part C to construct a new 3-story fourplex. Committee has before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, draft R report, cover letter from the agent, 2 photographs of the subject property, material from the agent responding to the engineering report. There's a letter from Councillor Candoval. There are staff reports from engineering and construction services, transportation services, urban forestry, and Metrolinx, correspondence and opposition from numbers 64, 66, 71, 77, and 79 Bexhill, and 460 Pharmacy. Is the agent online?
Through the chair, he's in person.
Ah, there you are. Hello, sir.
Hello, I am Richard Wrigley. My address is 69 Harris Park Drive, and I'm here on behalf of Residential Drafting Services.
Great. I think given the circumstances, we'll probably need a short presentation.
Okie dokie. So we've read all of the letters of concern and the letter from City Counciling, and we would like to mention that we are allowed to build fourplexes here, and that though not required to provide any parking at all, we have provided a parking space. Additionally, this lot is just 1 block from Pharmacy buses, 3 blocks from St. Clair buses, and 4 blocks from Victoria Park buses. There seems to be no complaint about the lot severance, and though the initial ECS letter recommended refusal, the superseding ECS letter removed that request. And this committee also approved an almost identical project by us in the same community at Westbourne and St. Clair on June 26, 2024. We're doing our best to provide affordable rental housing in this city.
Okay. All right, panel, any questions? Asif?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you, sir. My question is that in part 1, lot area is shown 241.51. But
Yes.
if you go in part C, variance number 2, you will see 236.11. So which figure is the correct figure?
The lots are just different sizes because of the angles of like the front and back property lines. So where you make the severance at an equal width is going to give you different lot areas.
There's a 5 feet difference, but should I consider 241?
I think what Mr. Khan is saying, he's concerned there's a difference between the area. I think you're concerned that the area is for the same parcel, but you're saying the areas are for the 2 separate parcels.
Yes.
So
Yes.
If I just
is there an
may?
error?
No, I was just going to say to the agent, is that because of a want for a corner round easement? Is that why the discrepancy is there? Between the number in the variance and the number on the plan?
That may be, let's see.
Through the chair, if I may draw your attention to the ECS conditions, they requested the 5x5 corner rounding.
Aha.
And the resulting areas in the minor variance applications reflect that taking.
Okay. So that sounds like it, that's the
That makes sense.
explanation. Asif, are you satisfied with
That is fine, sir.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Nope. We good? There's no speakers on this one? Okay, no further questions, so we'll take this into committee.
Thank you.
Nancy? You had a question? Okay, we're back out of committee.
Really quick, somewhere along the line, I think I saw engineering asking for a deferral. Do you recall seeing that? And if so, any reason why they would?
No.
'Cause I was looking for it and I can't find it now.
And you were saying that you think you cleared those concerns?
Yes, I believe so.
So all the conditions that they were looking for, you believe you've complied
Yes.
now?
Yeah.
Okay. If we're back in committee, then I think that this fits with the city, what the city's looking for, the type of intensification in neighborhoods. I know it's, it changes neighborhoods, but I think that just this meets the 4 tests and it does fit within how the city wants to see more housing being made available and utilize space within neighborhoods. So I would move approval of the application, or I would support it. If there are no other comments, I'd be happy to move approval.
Forestry?
Yeah, I don't know, I'm just looking if anybody has any comments.
Forestry 1 and 2,
No,
1 and 3?
is there anybody has comments, or can I go ahead and move approval?
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
Oh, and put your microphone on there.
Community has changed quite a bit. We've seen a number of variances and consents on Bexhill. I'm telling you because of you're not on our committee all the time, but we've probably got 15 or 20 of these. They take the lot, divide it in half, and create 2 new lots. This proposal is for a multiplex. So we've got 1 lot, and they're proposing 8 units. To me, that is a big jump. It's a big jump from what we would be expecting prior to the multiplex bylaw. And I'm just going to make a comment. My comment is, if this was the intent of the multiplex zoning bylaw, there's no need for this applicant to come to the committee for variances. If he meets all the requirements of the multiplex bylaw, then no need for a variance. It's a comment.
Okay. Are you?
I'm finished.
Are you concerned about this application?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Did you want to ask the agent anything on it?
No, I think it's fairly clear what they're proposing.
Okay.
I have concern of how it will work. I know the lot that you were talking about over on St. Clair Avenue, where we've also approved a multiplex a couple of months ago, maybe a year ago, and I don't know whether that's been built. But I just want to make a policy statement here that if this application was the purpose of the zoning bylaw and the intent of the zoning bylaw, then there should be no variances. We should not be asking for any variances.
Okay.
Simply a consent.
That's fine, Nancy. I'm just going to go to committee because I just want to ask the one question of the agent. Just parking. I think a lot of the concern from the neighbors was around parking.
Right.
And you didn't speak to it as part of your presentation. I just wonder if you could just reflect on the parking situation.
Yes, we tried to provide as much parking as we could and still have a good amount of living area for each unit, and we did manage to fit in one parking space for each lot, for each of these severed lots.
Okay. So your expectation is the people who are going to be residing in these multiplexes?
Most of them would be using transit because they are just one block from pharmacy buses. And I took, for 3 years, I took the pharmacy buses and the TTC, and it was perfectly fine for me.
Okay. All right. Any further questions? I'll go back into committee. All right, Nancy?
Okay. As I was saying, the city fourplexes, to the best of my knowledge, are as of right within neighborhoods now. I don't believe there's anything that's specifically talked about when it's in association with a severance of a lot. This is a corner lot. As the applicant has stated, it's a block away from, another artery. There's a church kitty corner across from it. So I don't feel that this is an inappropriate site. I think it can work here, and therefore I would be supporting the application, and I'd be prepared to move a motion to approve the application, including the engineering conditions and urban forestry conditions 1 and 3, I believe.
Okay. Motion by Ms. Ullman to approve with those conditions. A seconder? Eric? Mr. Ho? All in favor? Opposed? Ms. McCauley dissents. The motion is approved. You have your approval, sir.
Thank you very much.
Item number 24, 3650 Danforth Avenue. This is an application, again, was rescheduled from December the 4th. This is an application to sever the property into 3 lots and to establish easements for access and stormwater. Part B, that was Part A. Part B is to construct a new data center. Part C is to reduce the number of required spaces to locate parking spaces in the front yard, to reduce the minimum drive aisle width, to allow encroachments. Committee has before it a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, draft R plan, presentation materials from the agent, a demonstration plan, a cover letter from the agent, planning rationale, parking review, servicing letter, an arborist report, and a part summary. There are also 41 photos of trees on the subject property. There are staff reports from community planning, engineering, construction services, and urban forestry. There is a letter of concern from 287 Birchmount Road. Is the agent here? No. Online?
Hello?
Hello.
I am online, but I called in by phone as well. But I'd prefer to be online if possible.
We were getting some feedback. Do you have more than one device open? Hello? Did we lose him?
Hello?
Hi. Hello?
Mr. DiPaolo, can you disconnect from either your phone or your computer? We can't have both devices going at the same time. Okay, Mr. DiPaolo, you're unmuted. Is he touching it? Mr. DiPaolo, you're unmuted, but please don't touch any of the buttons on your end. Hi, Mr. DiPaolo, we can hear you if you want to start speaking.
Enter your access code or meeting number.
Mr. DiPaolo, we've unmuted your call-in number now.
Okay, thank you. I'm not sure why I always have trouble with audio on committee hearings, but here I am. Thanks for your patience.
Okay, sir, your name and address for the record.
Sure, my name is James DiPaolo. I'm an urban planner at Urban Strategies, and I'm representing the property owner and clients here. My work address is 197 Spadina Avenue in Toronto.
Okay, you were here in the fall with some approvals, and you're back, I guess, to tweak that. Maybe you could give the panel a quick overview of what you're proposing today.
Sure, I did provide a presentation, if you could put that up, and I would like to clarify that we're not coming back to tweak the approvals. It's sort of a multi-step approach to approvals on this site. Just a unique kind of process that we've crafted with city planning that dovetails with the active site plan application for this project.
Okay.
So just very quick as background, I think as most people know here, this property was the home to Eli Lilly until it closed in 2019. Back in 2001, there was a minor variance that was approved on the site to allow a portion of the building to be redeveloped as a data center, so that's its current use now. So an application for site plan approval for the next phase of development, which is to the south, has been ongoing since 2022. And then back in November, minor variances were approved at the committee related to parking, the location of outdoor storage, as well as the location of bike parking. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, the proposed development hasn't changed since the November 13th hearing. Through the site plan application, the city requested that we bring the project into alignment with on a full site basis in advance of requesting severances for the project. So the severances and variances for the lots that will be created will allow the south portion of the site to proceed as the next phase of the data center. So in this case, the need for separate servicing connections for each of the lots requires severance as directed by the city's engineering and construction services staff, which triggers new variances on 2 of the 3 proposed lots, which is essentially related to considering the development application in the context of new side lot lines between the buildings. Next slide, please. So this diagram illustrates how the severance will result in 3 lots where currently 1 exists. Lot 1 is vacant and there are no current plans for the use of that lot. We have submitted a demonstration plan to illustrate how that lot remains functional and could be developed in the future for the types of uses that are anticipated in the zoning bylaw and in the official plan. Lot 2 is the existing data center. There are no changes proposed to the building. Lot 3 is at the corner of Birchmount and Danforth, and that's the site of the next phase of the data center campus. So the creation of the new side lot lines between 1 and 2 and between 2 and 3 will result in the need for variances. Next slide, please. I've just summarized the variances by lot and just tied them back to the relationship to the severance. So back in November, there was a reduction in the number of lawful parking spaces. This further reduces that based on the smaller site area that sort of breaks that existing parking lot into 2. Encroachment of open storage into the required building setbacks. This is open storage that is the generators for the data center that are located within a new side yard that is created by that east-west property line between the 2 lots. And then the last is the reduction in a minimum drive aisle width. So it's not a reduction in the minimum drive aisle width necessarily, but essentially a drive aisle will be split evenly across that new property line. So together, 2 3-meter wide drive aisles will in effect create a 6-meter wide drive aisle per the regulations of the zoning bylaw. And the severance includes easements for access into the site and that shared driveway condition. Next slide, please. For lot 3, again, the variances generally relate to applying the zoning bylaw against new property lines. So a smaller property has resulted in an increase of the GFA from 0.8 that is permitted to 0.95. But again, the GFA of the overall project in relation to the whole site area hasn't changed. The location of the long-term bicycle parking outside of the building, this is something that was approved in November 13th. We've just, in caution, applied that to the variances for lot 3 as well. Again, encroachment of open storage and required building setbacks. These are generators that are located between the two buildings, but are now within a new side yard. The increase in height of the office portion of the building, this one is a bit interesting, as the way that the height of the building is calculated depends on the length of the frontage. So as you break the site into 3, the average elevation grade of the property becomes a little bit different, since there's a pretty significant grade change as you move north along Birchmount Road. So in essence, the height of the building.
Sir, I'm sorry for interrupting, sir. I'm sorry for interrupting, but we're well past your 5-minute time. Wonder if you could just kind of wrap up, please.
Yeah, that's essentially the final point. Is the height of the building hasn't changed, but the point of where you measure the height of the building, which only applies to the office portion of the building, slightly changes. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, any questions, panel? No questions. All right, let's take this into committee. Ann?
Okay, we have seen this application in various parts. It's a really interesting application. I checked to see that they got a variance for this use because it's computer data, and that was granted some time ago. We're now just proceeding with the severance, and that's creating new variances because of the severance line. I see no problems with this application. Hope they proceed very quickly. I would recommend approval of the consent application and the 2 variance applications.
Any conditions? Engineering, I have planning conditions written down.
I have planning conditions. The planning conditions is that they enter into a site plan agreement prior to the consent certificate. I'm not quite sure why, but presumably maybe I should ask the applicant if they has any problem with that.
We can go out of committee.
Sir, community planning are asking that prior to your consent certificate, which I believe would be 2 years from now, you enter and register on title a site plan agreement. Is that an issue for you?
No, those conditions were crafted in collaboration with city planning and legal staff and our clients, so there are no concerns with those conditions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, back in committee. You want to
I'll
continue with your motion?
Condition to the consent and variances. So, community planning prior to consent certificates, enter in register untitled site plan agreement. There's standard draft engineering conditions. There's urban forestry conditions, and Metrolinx has a comment.
Through the chair, there's no forestry conditions.
See a forestry, no.
But could we get a fresh motion just for the record? Because there's been a little bit back and forth.
And you want to start, sorry about that. Do you want to start over again?
Okay, once upon a time. In regard to 3650 Danforth Avenue, consent application, do I need the number? Are we okay with that? Okay. With respect to consent application B3024SC, recommend approval with the condition that prior to the consent certificate, the applicant enter into and register on title a site plan agreement. Also with that consent application is development engineering conditions and no urban forestry conditions.
Yep, that's
So
it. Okay.
those 2. Following along, there are 2 variances, A160 24SC and A16124SC for various conditions. Recommend approval of the variances. There is no conditions
Great.
attached to the
Okay,
variances.
motion by Ms. McCauley. Can I have a seconder? Ms. Omen, all in favor? You have your approval, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we deferred item number 25. Move on to item number 26. 3370 Brimley Road. Part A is to consent to sever the existing lot into two parcels. Part B is to demolish the existing dwelling and construct a new detached dwelling. Part C is to demolish the existing dwelling and construct a new detached dwelling. Committee has before it a copy plan, a site survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a draft R plan, a cover letter from the owner. We have staff reports from urban forestry and engineering. Hello, sir.
Hi, sir.
You can have your name and address, please.
My name is Syed Harun Hussain. I work address
Is the
5403.
microphone on? Is the red button on there?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Address is 5403 Langford Road, Burlington. I'm basically the severance of the lot into two. This severance was approved in July 16th, 2015, but the owner didn't pursue the conditions on it, and it was lapsed. The new owner have taking it forward and just want to have the same thing. Nothing changed from the previous severance. It's going to be the same.
Okay.
And if somebody have any questions, I will be answering.
All right, any questions, panel? Ann?
I have a question from staff. The variances are for frontage and lot area. There was a consent approval in 2015. Presumably, those variances were granted at that time, and he should not need a new variance application.
Through the chair, these variances were identified by the zoning examiner. The applications were submitted with a zoning review in hand, so we defer to what the building department says is required.
Okay, I have no problem granting the variances. I'm just saying that I would not think they would be necessary, but we can grant the variances in any case.
Yeah, and you're comfortable with this application, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, any further questions?
Is there not a speaker? I show one speaker. Is there a speaker listed?
Through the chair, there is an individual in person, I believe.
Okay, sorry, I'm not looking at the proper document. Too much paper. It's all the council. Hi there.
Hi. So my name is Lang. So I'm on behalf for 3370 labor 3366 owner.
And your name? Sorry.
Lang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your name?
So I behalf for the owner 3366 just right beside this building.
Okay.
So because
you have 5 minutes.
yeah. So because now they had the new site plan for the new building 3370. It's the move out around 10 meter. So it's meaning now on the Sand Street now for their house different his house like around 3 meters way more shorter in. And then they change the door to like a garage and the door switch to 336 side. So it's like both the entrance door had around 6 meter different. They are way more out for 3 meters out. So for my owner here, they are thinking it's for long term for like a circulation or the light, or even though had a privacy or had a problem. And for whole street, like look not nice. And the second thing, they want say this house want to build the same high. Look like a site plan, they are build way more high than our building.
Okay, so height.
So
you're
yeah,
concerned about the height?
yeah. First thing for the house, way more move out, too much out. too much out our house.
Okay, and the first concern was about the
Too much out. Both door we had a
too much depth, or sorry?
no, entrance door we had a 6 meter different.
Okay.
Because there's an entrance door, and our entrance door had a 6 meter different, like they out in. So he has some more concern for later light, privacy, anything.
Right. Okay.
Second thing for the height.
Right. Same thing. So it's privacy.
Yeah. Thank you. Nice. So you understand? You clear? So my English is not that good. Sorry
Yeah.
about it.
So you'll forgive me. We're just trying to make sure we understand your concern.
And so they concern, is it possible when they doing like a rebuild, can they move to like a door to the other side, switch around? Because now they already like a garage on their entrance door, so they want to change it to entrance door like a side by side. So he concerned, say, can you switch around like still keep the garage there? So entrance door go to the other side.
You're saying you'd like the applicant to switch,
Yeah, like
switch the garage?
Yeah.
From the side it currently is to the other side?
Yes, because then like keeping now is the now new house in this kind of design.
Okay.
I think she means the flipping the porch, the entrance.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah, like a porch entrance now just move to this side.
Okay, it's the porch, not the garage.
Yeah,
okay.
had like
So
a
it's the
6
porch,
meter
not the garage.
different, too much different, 6 meter different, and like.
So you're concerned about the height, and you're also concerned about the front
Entrance
porch
there, entrance.
because you think it's too close to.
Yeah, first thing too close, different, too much meter different, look really not nice. And later, oh, maybe light circulation or maybe privacy.
I understand. Anything else?
No, that's it. Well, just 2 questions.
Those are 2 questions. Okay.
Thank
you
you
very much.
Thank you.
Through the chair, we did put the site plan on the screen so you can see 3366 is actually included in the site plan, and you can see the porch. Sorry, we couldn't get it up quick enough.
So, sir, did you understand?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. If it would have been on the other side, I would have been, my hand would be tied because they have an utility pole over there. We can't share. It is quite possible I can talk to and make sure that this plan on the right across, which is part 2, basically, the house, we can mirror it so that we can have the driveway on their side rather than being on this side.
Okay.
So that can be extended. And
would you need any change to the variances if you did that?
no, we won't be having any change. It's just the planning thing. It's going to most probably going to be put into the condition that has to be done.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Oh.
No, you're
Yeah.
you're the in between.
So my understanding is from staff that, and I think it's great that you're willing to do that for the neighbor, that would require a change in site plan.
Yes.
My understanding is you'll need a deferral. Now, I don't know if it can be moved to next month or not, but I guess Ashley can speak to that.
Through the chair, thank you, Member Omen. To add to that, we just want certainty that the variances aren't changing.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be able to tie any conditions to the plans, of course.
Okay. So what he's proposing, we wouldn't be able to do without a revised application and a revised site plan, or could we?
We would encourage a revised site plan, so then we can confirm that, or the applicant can confirm that their variances aren't triggering any new variances, or there might be additional. So we would encourage a deferral in this case.
Okay.
We wouldn't be able to add the item to the February agenda, though. We're currently scheduling for March.
Okay. So do you understand? So in order to make the changes you're proposing to address the neighbor's concerns, we'd have to defer your application, and the next available time slot is in March. So, yeah, so you could do February if there were no changes?
No, I'm saying they could proceed today if they're confident that this change, February is not on the table. We can't schedule anyone for February, but if the application proceeds today, we want the applicant to be confident that they're not triggering new
Right,
variances.
so the applicant could take the risk of making the changes to the porches.
Yes.
If you're comfortable that that wouldn't trigger any additional variances. I guess that's what it comes down to.
Yes, and we are confident.
You're confident on that?
Yes.
Okay.
And sorry, in addition to that, through the chair, should the members make a motion for approval, we would want some sort of condition.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yep.
all right. Whew. Thank you, Nancy. All right, any further questions? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's good of you to accommodate your neighbor. All right. Nancy, do you want to take a crack at this one?
Sure. Okay, I think what's being proposed makes sense. It's on a main road, on an arterial road. I think that you know, the proposal is a good proposal. I'm really very happy with, you know, the concession that the applicant is willing to make for the neighbor. I would be willing to move approval on this one, including the engineering condition and urban forestry conditions, and then also with the condition that if on the, I don't know which side it is, but the side beside number 366, if the entrance and the driveway gets flipped, that there's a condition that staff be provided with a new site plan? No, or what would you like?
Through the chair, I'm just drafting up some language and we'll put it on the screen.
Even better.
Bear with us for a moment. We won't be we're able to accept a new site plan, but just wording that would require the owner to relocate the covered porch.
Okay, fair enough.
We're just
So
trying to confirm the directionality. So through the chair, the language on the screen, this would be with respect to the minor variance application for part 2. I'll read it out for everyone's benefit. The owner is required to relocate the covered porch to the north side of the front facade. These plans aren't using true north, so I would appreciate if the agent could confirm that it is the north side.
Yeah, he's saying.
He's nodding up there, yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so.
You want to start all over
Yeah,
again?
I'll
Ed?
start over.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, hang on, they're still deliberating. All right, so the motion then is, to approve the application with the engineering conditions, forestry conditions 2 and 3, and they apply to both parcels. And then on part 2, the owner is required to construct the covered porch to the north side of the front facade.
Okay. Complicated motion by Ms. Oman to that effect. Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder? Mr. Ho, all in favor? You have your approval. Thank you, sir. Thank you for accommodating your neighbor. Thank you. Item number 27, we have dealt with. This was the delegated consent, so we won't be doing that one. We move to item number 28. 5951 Steeles Ave East. This is an application to construct two single-story industrial buildings. This application as well was rescheduled from the December 4th hearing. Committee has before it a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 14 photos of the subject property, presentation materials from the agent, cover letter from the agent, arborist report, and amendments to the application from the agent. We have staff reports, two staff reports from community planning, and one from heritage planning and economic development and culture from the city as well. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon.
Your name and address, please.
Sure. My name is Joe Guzzi. I'm a planner with Dillon Consulting. Our address is 425 Adelaide Street West, Suite 300 in Toronto. I'm representing the applicant, the Jim Pattison Development.
Great. Thank you, sir. Panel, does anyone need a presentation on this one? We appreciate you coming down. But we've read the information. We're familiar with your application. It's a fairly straightforward, I think it's a fairly minor application. We don't really need a presentation today. Before we may have questions, but before we take it into committee, is there anything you'd like to share with the panel?
Well, I would like to say thank you for your time today. This is a very important project creating jobs in this part of Scarborough. We're very pleased to be able to proceed with this application. I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Great, thank you very much. I did note that the city's Economic Development Department have supported this application. Yes. All right, panel, any questions of this applicant? See none. Thank you, sir. We'll take this into committee. Anyone want to? Eric, do you want to take this one?
Sure, thank you, Chair. Through the Chair, I'd like to move approval of this application. Recognizing that the CP conditions were previously raised were satisfied, as well as heritage report planning conditions, I'm satisfied that this application meets the four tests of the Planning Act.
Okay. I have heritage condition written down. Do you have that? Is there a heritage condition?
I think it got cleared the last
Got
time
cleared?
round.
Okay, no heritage condition. All right, motion by Mr. Ho to approve this application. Do I have a seconder?
Sorry, through the chair, you are correct. The heritage report does request a condition requiring final building permit drawings to be to the satisfaction of the senior manager heritage
Standard
planning.
one. Okay, there is a heritage. You're aware of the heritage condition?
We are, and we agree.
Great, thank you. So there is a, Eric, you want to
Sure.
amend your motion?
Everything above that I've said, subject to the heritage planning condition.
Okay, motion by Mr. Ho to approve, seconded by Ms. McCauley. All in favor? You have your approval, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 29. 41, is it Rosaglore or Roseglore Crescent? This is an application to construct a second-story addition to the existing dwelling. Committee has before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and 8 photographs of the subject property. There is no staff reports, no correspondence on this one. Do we have the agent?
Mr. Galvez, you've been unmuted.
Good evening.
Good evening. Is it evening?
Yes.
Good evening. Your name and address, sir.
It's Sergio Galvez, 2030 Bristol Circle, Oakville.
Okay, panel, again, this one looks fairly straightforward. It's a second floor addition, fairly minor. Does anyone need a presentation? Ann, you okay?
Yeah, I just lost my computer, but I found it again.
Okay. All right. Sir, we have read your application. We're familiar with the material. We don't need a presentation today. Before we take it into committee for a decision, would you like to, is there anything you want to share with the panel?
No, I'm okay if the committee's okay with just going forward.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of the, no, you don't? All right, we're in committee. Asif?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move this only two variances straightforward that this application be approved.
Okay, motion to approve from Mr. Khan. Do I have a seconder? Ms. McCauley, all in favor? You have your approval. Thank you. Item number 30. Does anyone need a break, 5 minutes, or everyone okay? Okay to continue? You're okay? All okay? All right, number 30, 56 Falmouth Avenue. This is an application for a multi-tenant house. This item was rescheduled from the December 4th, 2024 hearing. Committee has before it a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 6 photographs of the subject property, and support materials from the agent. We have staff reports from Transportation Services and Metrolinx. There is correspondence in support from 49 and 59 Winter Avenue, and correspondence in opposition from 68 Falmouth. Good. I'm going to say it's afternoon until 6 o'clock. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Arup Dash. I'm the owner of 56 Falmouth Avenue, Scarborough,
Great, sir.
Ontario.
I think we need a short presentation on this one. You're aware of the transportation recommendation?
They approved, they have no problem with the parking 2, but they have problem with the parking 3, sir.
Yeah.
This is what they said. But I am okay with the parking 2. I don't need parking 3, actually.
Sorry, you're okay with the,
Parking 2.
you're removing variance number 2?
No. Sir, I have parking 1 in the garage and parking 2 and 3 in the driveway. So transportation department reviewed and they said parking 2 is okay, parking 3 is not okay. So I am with parking 2, okay, so no problem.
Okay. I'm not sure I understand this application. I don't know if my panel colleagues probably do, but I don't. I wouldn't mind a quick presentation, an overview of what you're proposing, please.
Yes, sir. First of all, sir, I am not good at English. I will try my best, sir.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Do you want me to present something?
Yes, I'd like you to present, make a presentation, please.
Okay, can you please put in the site plan?
You want to pull up the site plan?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Through the chair, we're just having a lag. One moment.
Okay.
Could you please make it bigger, please? The parking section.
Through the chair, can the applicant confirm this is what they want?
Yes, yes, okay. Sir, my basement, I have 4 rooms. So as per by law, I need 1.2 parking, sir. So I have only in the garage. So I propose for 2 parking 2 and parking 3. So the transportation department reviewed and they said parking 2 is okay, parking 3 is not okay. So I need actually 2 parking, so I do not need parking 3, parking 2 will be okay, sir. And as per my paved car driveway, it can be parked 2 parking.
Mr. Chair, I'm not really sure I understand what's being.
I find myself in the same position, so I'm going to ask you.
Could I just ask, like, so the transportation wants a refusal of both of your variances, and I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. You still want the variances, but I don't understand your justification. Can you try to maybe simplify or say it in a different way, because I'm really not following what you're saying.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I told you I am not good at English, but I'm trying to make you understand.
No, it's just explain what you just said about the 3 and the 2, and I'm totally confused now. So
No, this parking number 2, parking number 3, I proposed. So I need one more parking except garage parking for my multi-tenant house. So actually I need 1.2 parking as per room. So 1.2, so that's why I propose parking 2 and parking 3, ma'am.
Perhaps I can assist here.
Please.
I think what it is he needs 2 parking spaces. He's proposing 3. So 1 parking space is in the garage, and we're all happy with that. The second parking space is parking space number 2, which is hard to see but goes up to the door of the garage. Parking space number 3 goes up to an edge of the building. And so transportation is saying it's not long enough. I think that's what the problem is. So he doesn't need, he doesn't need a variance for the length of his parking space number 3 because he doesn't need that parking space at all.
Is that the one in the garage?
No, one in the garage is existing.
Right.
He has one on the driveway that goes to the garage door.
Right.
That's number 2. And then number 3 goes to a corner of the house.
Right.
Which is in front of the garage. Therefore, transportation says it's not long enough.
But it also is on the public right-of-way. Is that not the bigger issue?
Both 2 and 3, aren't they?
No.
Not in the public?
I don't think so. He's showing the property line here. I don't think either of them are on the public right-of-way.
It says in the report, parking 3 does not appear to meet the parking space length requirement of 5.6 meters according to Toronto standards.
Right.
And as a result, will protrude into the city's public right-of-way.
So if you look at, can we pull up the site, is the site plan up?
Yeah.
Can you expand it, make it, or zoom in? Because if you do look, you can see the property line is well in from the boulevard on each road, right?
Sir, can I tell you something? Sorry.
Yes, please.
Sir, if I shift the parking 2 all the way left, sir, the parking like pave card is for 2 driveways, sir. The pave card driveway is for two parking, sir. If I shift parking 2 all the way left, sir, there is no problem with the for the garage parking, sir.
So if you shift the parking to the front yard area, then you've got no problem.
That's on Falmouth or on Brussels?
No, from Brussels onto
Right, over to Falmouth. So he's basically saying if he shifts the driveway over there, so...
No, it just shifted to the closer to Falmouth.
Yeah.
But could that not then create a softscape
Yeah,
problem?
then you've got other issues.
And actually, to Mr. Clay's point, like, I don't see why number 2 wasn't mentioned because to me, that also looks in the public right away, but.
I wonder for the panel's consideration, I appreciate your trying to solve this issue, but we're struggling because it's confusing to us and it's not clear what you're proposing to satisfy transportation. So one option would be to defer this so that you have an opportunity to go back and talk to transportation. If you've got an alternative approach to your driveway that would satisfy them, that might be your best approach. If you want to switch it or move it, I don't think we can deal with that today because it would change your site plan and it might trigger other variances. So we think maybe your best approach would be to defer it today. That doesn't refuse it, it's just deferring it. And you can go back and have further discussions with transportation and see if you can come up with a solution that satisfies them. Otherwise, we're struggling and we have no basis upon which to not consider what transportation is recommending to us, which is to refuse those variances. So I think your best course of action might be to seek a deferral and go back and try and address this issue, and then we can schedule you on a future committee meeting.
Sir, I already talked to the person who made the decision, He also told me, so parking 2 is okay, parking 3 is not okay, sir.
Sir, again, you can see we're struggling with this one because we don't understand what you're proposing. And in the absence of us not understanding it, we're not going to be able to make a decision. So our best advice to you would be to defer it and speak further with transportation. And if they change their recommendation, then they will let the committee know that they're okay with what you're proposing. And then you'll probably get an easier path through the committee.
Okay, sir.
Is that okay with you, sir?
Okay.
Okay. Panel, you okay with that? All right. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
We'll take this into committee. Does everyone agree that a deferral is a good approach? Someone want to make a motion? Nancy?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, the applicant is in agreement to take this back, have a conversation with transportation, so I move deferral of the application. The sooner you speak to the transportation department, the sooner staff can schedule it back on, because as of today, they're already scheduling on March, just for your information. But
Okay.
that's my motion to
Okay.
defer.
Motion to defer by Ms. Solomon. Do I have a seconder? Ms. McCauley? Thank you. All in favor? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you,
Your
sir.
item is deferred.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir, what is the date for deferral? The date?
Oh, well, again, it'll depend on your conversations with transportation. So your best, as Ms. Oman was saying, your best approach is to get back to transportation as quickly as possible, resolve the issue, and as soon as that's resolved, then you'll be able to bring it back to committee.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
All right. Item number 31 has been deferred. We moved to item 32. 8 Kerwood Crescent. This is an application to demolish the existing one-story dwelling and construct a new two-story dwelling. Committee has before it a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and 2 photographs of the subject property. We have staff reports from Urban Forestry and no correspondence on this item. So do we have the agent?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. My name is Michael Shrazadfar. I'm the agent on behalf of the homeowners at 8 Kerwood Crescent. My address is 3 Mary Terrace Court, Markham, Ontario.
Thank you, sir. Just hang on a sec. Panel, does anyone need a presentation on this item? No? Okay, sir. The panel doesn't need a presentation today. We've read the material. We're familiar with your application. We may have questions, but before we take it into committee, is there anything you'd like to share with the panel?
At this time, no. If there's any questions that or clarification required, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, thank you. Panel, any questions? No questions? Sir, we don't have any questions, so we'll take this into committee. Does anyone want to comment or have a motion? Asif?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 2 variances straightforward, so I'll move this application be approved with forestry conditions.
Forestry condition 2 and 3? Okay. Motion to approve by Mr. Khan. I'm having brain cramps. With forestry condition, seconded by Mr. Ho. All in favor? That is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to call a 5-minute break, if that's okay with you guys. Okay. Yeah. Sure, 10 minutes. Yeah, or 2 minutes. I am tired. Oh, here she comes. Okay. All right, we live? Are we live? Okay. All right, we continue with item number 33, 2 Willowhurst Crescent. This is an application to demolish the existing one-story dwelling and to construct a new two-story dwelling. This item was previously deferred from December the 4th. We have a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 2 photos of the subject property, support material from the agent. There are staff reports from Transportation Services, TRCA, and Ravine and Natural Features Protection. And the agent is online.
This is Akim Kimran speaking on behalf of the owner.
Okay, your address, sir?
Yeah, it's the 1906 Parkside Drive, Pickering. Yeah, so I can continue the presentation?
Sure.
Yeah, so we have 12 variances today. And if I start from the number 1, that is regarding the side yard setback. And this is the side yard setback we have at the back side of the building. Backside of the building. This is required 3.6 meter. We are proposing 2.52 meter. This is mostly for the lot width that reduced at the backside. It basically is decreasing at the rear side of the building slowly due to the shape of the property. And we had to have this setback to accommodate the reducing width of the property. The second one is the TRCA top of slope setback required 10 meter. We are proposing 8.57 meter for the deck only. This is also the same way because the property line at the back side is angular. So that just a certain part of the deck is within the 10 meter setback from the top of slope, and remaining mostly half of the remaining deck is outside of the 10 meter. And then the third one, we have the coverage 33%. We are asking very minor, that is 33.5%, only 5% we are requesting more. The fourth one, the building height, that is 9 meter required. We are proposing 9.95 meter. In our opinion, this is also very minor. 0.95 meter we are asking for the slope roof total height house. And then number 5, we have the main wall height 7 meter. We have the front 8.45 and the rear 8.15 meter high. But its height came from the window treatment. Basically, on the rear and the front side, we have window treatment. But average height of the main wall is 7.5 meter all around. So it is only for the window treatment for certain areas. For the number 6, our entrance is 1.42 meter high from the established grade, whereas 1.2 meter permitted maximum. This is 0.2 meter. If we convert to imperial scale, then that is only 7.5 inches higher than the required. If we go for the 7.1, that is for the building length. 7 meter maximum permitted. We are having 9 meter. That also came from the designing the building with the lot reducing at the back side. We had to elongate the building a little bit with our design. This is 2 meter higher than the required. We are also considering this minor. Number 8 is the depth of the building 9 meter, and we are requesting 19.25 meter. That is, we actually push the building 0.25 meter from the required front yard setback. So this 0.25 meter we we are having in front of the building. So this minor variance came with this one. And the number nine, that is related to the side yard setback, because this is for the no, sorry, this is for the side yard setback. This is stair we have from the side yard setback. We have the side yard. We have the entrance to the building, and we had to provide the stair. And this stair is getting closer to the side yard setback, side yard property line, and that is 1.74. We have the setback meter, and that is 1.86. So 3.6 meter required, but we are having 1.86 meter, and that is encroaching 1.74 meter to the minimum required side yard setback. The number 10 is the stair width. That can be maximum closer to the lot line 0.6 meter. We have 0.38 meter. That is 0.22 meter higher than the maximum requirement.
Sir, I'm just going to interrupt you there. I'm going to ask you just to go to variance number 12 and conclude, because that's
Okay.
the variance.
Yeah. So variance number 12.
Listen to me, that's the variance that transportation is requesting
Yeah.
refusal.
Yeah. Variance number 12, that is for the driveway we propose from Willowhurst Crescent Road. And as per the transportation comments, they have this objection for the trees, large tree at the corner of the intersection. We submitted the supporting document already. There is one of the approval nearby this property. We also located, actually, we gave the location of that property. The same scenario was there, and they also trimmed the tree and to clear the view towards the intersection. And we have the same proposal to trimming by trimming the trees within the view height of the view of the driver's view. So that way we can have the clear non-obstructing view to the intersection from the proposed driveway. This is basically just if we get the approval, we can have the condition to trimming the trees.
So you're suggesting to address transportation's concerns that you would trim the tree up so that you would have visual access to the corner. And you've done that on a previous application that you've been involved with?
No, I was not involved, but the current situation, now the new house is there, like one Roseford Road. They have the trees also trimmed, and there are also 3 trees at the intersection.
Okay. Would you need urban forestry approval to trim that tree?
We submitted the permit to the forestry department. Is undergoing.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Panel, any questions? No questions?
No.
Oh, sorry, Eric. Yep.
I'm looking at the transportation services report. Aside from the trees obstruction issue, there's also a 9-meter stop from a stop sign, and transportation service is citing this as a safety concern. Can you speak about this issue and how you propose to manage the issue?
We have basically from the dimension we have on the site plan, because the transportation department, they mentioned that their assumption 9 meter, right? But it's 12.3 meter from the intersection. It's 3.3 meter more from the intersection. And our building also, we push the building little bit back. So we have the driveway 9.9 meter driveway. It's very, it's a long run, little bit long run than average driveway. So any driver getting out of the garage, even the parking space, they're getting 9 meter distance from the road. And also there the municipal road in front of the property, that is also almost 5 meters. So they are getting almost 14-meter run from the garage or maybe the driveway, and they are getting 12-meter away from the intersection. So if we consider the both distance, driveway length and the intersection distance, this is more comfortable than is mentioned in the Transportation Department report, because they're only considering the 9 meter.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Nancy?
In your supporting material, you talked about, you think that trimming the tree is going to resolve the issue. It's a big evergreen tree, so I'm not really sure how you're proposing to trim back.
And whether they need...
Trim back the tree. And you also mentioned that there is no stop sign. There is a two-way stop going the other way. It isn't a four-way stop, but can you just elaborate why you feel that that's a rationale for saying that transportation doesn't have a point?
Yeah, basically we walk through that intersection, right? Walk through that intersection. So the stop sign is for Willowhurst on both way. So when a car is taking the left turn, or from the Willowhurst to the Tower Drive, left or right, they're having the stop sign, right? And then when the car is coming from Tower Drive to Willowhurst, and there is no stop sign there to the right turn, right? So if we run on the right-hand side of the Willowhurst and going towards the Tower Drive, then that tree is not obstructing that much to the upcoming vehicle from the Tower Drive turning left. That is away from the tree more another like 30 feet, right? Almost. So that is, but if it is from the Tower Drive turning right to the Willowhurst, that is turning. The driver, when the driver is taking out the car, only that is the driving, and actually the driver should take a cautious look. And we are trimming the trees, so driver can see the Tower Drive, any car is coming, taking the right turn.
Okay, I kind of will respectfully disagree. I mean, I think transportation has a point. I mean, you'd literally, somebody rounding the corner, if you're even partially backed out, somebody's going to run into that car. So I'm not sure why a house wasn't designed keeping the driveway basically where it is now, which would be much further away from the corner. And yeah, I would also argue that the tree is still somewhat of a site obstruction, because until the car has actually kind of got past that tree, you can't really see it. So anyway, those are my comments.
Okay. Any further? Oh, Ann, yes?
Yeah, I have some comments. I'm looking at this. The location of the driveway is going to be as far away from the corner as possible because it's on the south side of the lot. There's a big boulevard. I don't agree with trimming the tree, but there's a fair boulevard, so anyone coming out of that driveway is going to be some distance from the paved portion of the road. And I think that's where you would have any conflict. I don't know whether there's a stop sign there or not. I don't think that really matters. But I'm not convinced that this is a major problem. It's a local street. In fact, it's a crescent, so it's a less important street.
Okay. Anyone else?
Uh,
Oh, so no, sir. Any further questions?
If I can add, if I can add one point, if I have the opportunity.
Okay, one last point, sir.
Yeah. So actually, we didn't. If we put the garage at the back side of the building, we had the problem with the backyard and the building, right? That's completely separated from the building because of the obstruction of the garage. We tried to incorporate the backyard with the house because this shape of the property is like decreasing the width at the back slowly, and the garage is taking whole length width of the house almost at the back side of the house.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Any other questions? We have no further questions. Let's take this into committee. Okay. Ann, you're okay with this application?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. It's not the greatest in the world. But I don't really see, I don't see a safety reason, which is really all that the transportation people are concerned with. I don't see a safety reason why that driveway cannot work in that location.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? And Nancy, I think you stated your position.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it now. I think it's going to be really close to the corner. So I do believe transportation has a point.
Okay. Anyone else? Eric?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards refusing this application on safety issues as well. I work at MTO, and usually for our highways, we do not allow access at such a close intersection. People are always driving, there are always accidents, and if there's a better option, it shouldn't be at this close to a stop sign.
Okay, I'm leaning towards refusal of that variance as well. I think that if there is a solution here, either trimming the tree or doing something, then the applicant can come back, revise their proposal, and can come back. I don't personally like compromising on safety issues either. I think I'm not an expert enough to be able to determine whether that could in fact be safe or not, but I'm going to rely on transportation services who it's their view that it is currently, as proposed, unsafe. And I appreciate the trimming aspect of it, but again, does that trigger other variances? Does that require urban forestry approval? And we don't have that before us. So I agree, Nancy. I would support this application with the exception of variance 12. Sif, did you want to?
Thank you, sir. Already said enough. I think application is straightforward, except variance number 12. And I agree that it should be taken to transport services for clearance. As far, once it is done, it is straightforward application to be looked into.
Okay. Ann?
Just going to add one further comment, because I'm looking at the site plan. What happens if he has to move the driveway to the other side of the building, puts in a double-car garage there? I would not die on this. This is not where I'm going to die on it. I would think that putting the driveway and the garage there probably is not the best in terms of using your backyard. But 50% for safety, maybe 50% use of backyard. If the applicant can defer this and come back and show us a better proposal, I'd be all in favor of a deferral.
Or at a minimum, satisfy transportation's concerns. So would you rather defer rather than refuse? Nancy, what are you thinking?
I think that personally, if it were me and I were the applicant, I would lean toward deferral to go back and try to figure out where the driveway can go that's going to work, because where it is now, it is not safe. I mean, all you have to do is look at this corner, and it's an accident waiting to happen.
Okay. Thank you. I'm just going to go out of committee and speak with the applicant. Sir, you've heard the panel's concerns about the driveway and the safety element with respect to the tree. I think our suggestion might be that if you were open to it, that perhaps deferral might be a better option so that you can either change your application or have further discussions with transportation to satisfy their concerns.
Yeah, this option is on the table now. We would actually take this one. It's better to take the deferral rather than refusal.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice.
Yeah.
All right, we're back in committee. Nancy?
Okay, through you, Mr. Chairman, I would move deferral of this application. It would be sine die, and yeah, I would encourage the applicant that this gives him an opportunity to talk to transportation, and it's not just about trimming back the tree. This driveway is too close to the corner, so I think you need to look at how where's a better place to put it in your application. So
Okay.
that's my motion.
Motion by Ms. Oman to defer. Do I have a seconder? Ms. McCauley, all in favor? Okay, this application is deferred.
I'm just going to add, when he goes back and looks at this, I am assuming he could probably move the building closer to Willowhurst Crescent.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's going to figure it out.
All right, we move on to item number 34 was deferred. We move on to item number 35, 91 Craigley Drive. This is an application to construct a two-story garden suite in the rear yard. Committee has before it a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 8 photographs of the subject property, staff reports from community planning and urban forestry. And there is a petition of support signed by 10 residents.
I have a note, staff recommend deferral.
On 35?
Through
I
the
have a
chair.
question mark, yes. Planning staff are recommending deferral.
Yeah.
Yes. So, do we have the agent?
Hello. Good afternoon, respected Mr. Chair and member of the panel. I am Shivangi Prajapati from the CM Designers and Engineers. My address is 537 Danforth Road. I am representing the client for the property at 91 Craigley. I received some comment from the committee planner, and I have to address those comments and submit the revised drawing yesterday. If you are considered the proceeding with this application, I would appreciate the opportunity to provide the brief presentation, and or I am happy to attend the next hearing to schedule for February 12th.
Yes, see, we don't have any revised drawings before us, so if you've just submitted them yesterday, they were submitted too late for this hearing, and the panel doesn't benefit from having an opportunity to review that material. So it may be in your best interest to defer this to the next hearing, and then the panel will have the benefit of having read your application completely.
Mr. Chairman, I think we defer to March. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, February is full.
Through the chair, we'd prefer if you defer sine die. We don't want to promise a date until they've had the fulsome review.
Okay. So that's, we don't know when it would be rescheduled, but it certainly would be at the earliest opportunity. So you'd like to proceed with the deferral?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to defer.
All right, thank you. All right, committee.
Thank you so much
We're in
for your
committee.
time
Does
and
someone want to move deferral? Eric?
Through the chair, I would like to move deferral of item 35. It is on consent by the applicant that this be deferred, so the applicant would have more opportunity to discuss the issues with community planning.
Okay, motion to defer by Mr. Ho, seconded by Ms. Oman. All in favor? You have your deferral. Thank you. Item 36, 91 Eastville Avenue. This is an application to demolish the existing one-story dwelling and construct a new two-story dwelling. Committee has before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 3 photos of the subject property, and a staff report from Urban Forestry.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. No, okay, already late.
Good
It was
evening.
1:30
Officially
actually. I was waiting long.
Your name and address, sir.
My name is Farooq Ahmed, and I'm the owner of 91 Eastville Avenue, Scarborough, Ontario.
Okay, you're the owner.
Today I came for a minor variance. And
Panel, anyone need a presentation on this one? Do you want to have a question?
I have a question.
Okay, so sir, we don't need, it's fairly straightforward. We understand your application. We've read all the material. We don't need a presentation today, but we have a question.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, question to staff here. In the package, we get a notice that the variance in 2020 was approved for 313 meters square. He's asking for a variance of 287. That's less than what he got approved a couple of years ago. Can we ask him to amend his application so that he doesn't require that variance?
Sir, do you understand the question? What's being, it's not to you, it's to staff, but do you understand what she's asking?
Yes, madam, talking about the, maybe last owner, previous owner, I don't know about that much, but I like my new design and new house for my family,
Yeah, but you, when did you purchase the house
Yes,
just recently?
Yeah, recently,
So you're
yes.
a new owner?
Yeah, new owner, yeah. Couple of months, just 3 months, I think.
Okay. The previous owner sought and was granted a variance for a larger house than what you're asking for.
I don't know, previous owner, I didn't see the,
Okay.
is that-
So, but you're happy with what you're asking for now today?
Yes, yes. I proposed little larger actually,
All right.
not really larger.
Actually, can we just proceed with this application?
Yeah, through the chair, as I've stated earlier in this hearing, applications that come through a zoning review, we're not questioning the building department's interpretation. They've identified a need for this variance. I personally did not do this review, so I can't comment on why that need is triggered, but we trust that our colleagues in the building department see that as a requirement.
Okay, so we will proceed with your current application, and it's based on what you'd like to do with your house. So again, we don't need a presentation. It's a fairly straightforward application. Is there any other questions on this file? We don't have any questions, sir. We're going to take it into committee for a decision. Before we do, is there anything you'd like to share with us?
No, that's fine. Thank
good?
you. Thank you
trust
very
us?
much. Yeah, thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
All right, we're in committee. Asif.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, sir, I would like to move the 3 variances in front of us, and it should be approved with forestry conditions.
Forestry 1 and 2. Okay. Motion by Mr. Khan to approve, subject to forestry conditions. I have a seconder. Ms.
second.
McCauley. All in favor? You have your approval, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming down. Okay. Item 37. 43 McIntosh Street. This is an application to demolish the existing dwelling and construct a new fourplex and laneway suite. Committee has before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 2 photographs of the subject property, and no correspondence in opposition. And sir, going for the three-peat.
Correct.
Your name for the record and address.
Richard Wrigley, 69 Harris Park Drive.
Okay, sir. This is for maybe a short presentation, just a bit of an overview of what you're proposing, please.
Sure. So issues 1 and 4, you can see for 1, for example, on the site plan, even though we're asking for 4.81 as the setback, if you look at number 35, they are 4.7, and across the street, the 47 is at 4.17 meters. And in addition to that, the reason that we have a variance in regards to rear yard landscaping is because we're actually trying to provide a car parking space for the laneway suite along with our 6 bike parking spaces. And we are still trying to get as much soft landscaping in there as we can with planters. As for the height, if you look at the east elevation on A8, this is because of the parapet. We're actually at 10.42, but we need a parapet on the firewall. But if it's really that much of an issue, we can just bring the height down, just completely eliminate item 2.
So the parapet's just an architectural thing?
No, that is for the firewall, but we can bring the height of the entire thing down to 10 meters so that the parapet doesn't.
Would you like to do that?
Yes.
Okay, so we are amending, so you're removing variance
2.
2?
Yes.
Okay. So you'd like to remove variance 2?
Yes.
Okay.
And as for item 3, that's practically inevitable for any fourplex. As long as you keep the main wall height at 7.5 meters. And I think that's about everything I have to say about it.
Okay. Panel, any questions? Ann?
Last one. I've been out in this area, and I guess a couple of years ago, you got approval for the laneway house. Now, I know on the other side of the road, they're going to be building an apartment building. I don't know, is the laneway house already constructed? Pardon? Yes, so the laneway house is constructed, and so what you're asking for as part of this is to put the second floor on that laneway, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Okay. So you're a little light on rear landscaping, right? Soft landscaping. Notice you want a spot for a parking spot. Would you be open to constructing that parking pad with permeable pavers so that it allows some water percolation through?
Absolutely.
Doesn't actually technically count towards soft landscaping, but it helps a little bit.
Yes.
So would you be open to that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I'm just clarifying, we have 6 dwelling units on this lot.
Is that with the suite?
The 2 laneway suites, one on top of the other.
It's 1 unit. It's 2-story, 1 unit. Okay.
Okay.
2-story, 1 unit.
So 5 units on this.
5, yes.
Yep, 5 in total.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. Any more questions? Seeing none, let's take it into committee for a decision. Nancy?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I think that this development meets the 4 tests. I'm okay with it. I move approval as amended with the deletion of variance number 2.
And the permeable pavers?
Oh, yes, and a condition for permeable pavers on the driveway.
Right. Okay. All right, motion by Ms. Ullman to that effect with those conditions, seconded by Mr. Khan. All in favor? You have your approval.
Thank you very much.
Your record is intact. Item number 38 was deferred. Item number 39 is 46 Fallingbrook Drive. This is an application to construct an addition to the existing dwelling. Committee has before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 6 photos of the subject property. We have staff reports from TRCA, Ravine and Natural Features Protection, and Urban Forestry, and there's correspondence and opposition from 48 Fallingbrook. We have the agent online.
Ms. Sanborn, you've been unmuted.
Yes. So I'm here with my partner, Howard Heinzman, and Maureen Sanborn. We are the architects for the property.
Yes, thank you.
Do you have any questions, or should we?
No, your address, please, ma'am.
12 Windley Avenue, Toronto.
Okay. We have someone that wishes to speak on this item, so we'll need a presentation. Oh,
Okay, so basic, do you want
hold
a
on.
quick synopsis of the project?
Hold on. The person that was on the line is no longer on the line. Did we lose them or they hung up?
Through the chair, the registered speaker is no longer waiting.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
can I
Ann.
ask a question
Uh,
of the applicant here? I don't need a full presentation.
Yeah, no, I was just going to make sure, check with the panel, make sure that, does anyone need a presentation on this application? Okay, just hang on a second. Ma'am, we don't need a presentation today. We've read the material. We're familiar with your application. But we do have questions. Ann?
Okay.
Thank you. I'm just pulling up the drawings here. You're asking to provide an addition to the building. And we have
Yes.
we have an objector, and her objection is that it's going to block her view. I think she is number 44, which is on the side of your property that doesn't have,
Yes.
that isn't affecting her. That's not where you're making the addition. So
Right.
I'm prepared to adopt this, recommend adoption of this application, subject to the site plan that shows the location of your addition.
Okay, our site plan does show the location of the addition because it's over an existing one-story structure.
Okay,
So,
we're-
so
we're
the
gonna-
addition is over.
Yeah, we would tie you to that addition.
To the site plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Nancy.
Just a quick correction, Ms. McCauley, it's actually number 48 that was objecting.
Yeah, 48 was the registered speaker, not 44.
Yeah, I looked at the letter, it's number 48.
Okay.
The other side.
The addition's on the 44 side.
Okay.
Yes. Now, can I make a point here that the window that she's speaking of is an existing non-conforming window, which is on the property line, and it's not her rear window. She's speaking of one single window, which is an existing non-conforming window on the property line. So, and also, I'd also like to make the point that the building is 13 foot 8 inches below the depth of what we are allowed to build. So we're at 42 feet and we're allowed to build 55.9, and it's much less deep than what we're currently allowed to build. So we're respecting her as much as we can, and it doesn't really obscure the window, just moderately, and it's an existing non-conforming window.
Okay, so you're okay with us tying the approval to the plans that you have submitted?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any further questions? Seeing none, let's go into committee. This is, there's no height, no depth, no width, no length variances. This is just FSI. So.
We just wanted to make
Hold-
one further comment.
Hold it, ma'am. We were in committee. Is it important? We'll come out of committee. Ma'am?
Yes, we read an objection about the trees in the rear yard. They were recommending not to approve the application due to the trees.
Is there, I have forestry down, but then I scratched it out. Did forestry remove their conditions? Yeah, so forestry is either satisfied or they've removed their condition, so.
Okay, perfect.
We'll proceed on that basis. Okay.
Great,
Back
thank you.
in committee.
I was just going to make a comment about the objection letter.
Sure.
So it's number 48, and based on what I could see, 48 actually sits higher than 46, which is before us. And so also it's a small window, and I'm assuming that's the legally non-conforming window that was referenced. So I feel that really there isn't much impact with what's being proposed here on number 48. I respect their comments, but I don't see that as kind of being a valid objection, to be honest.
Okay. I agree. Eric?
Mr. Chair, I do see a forestry condition for this property.
I thought it got,
Through the chair, there was a letter, an email from forestry in the supplemental agenda material where they identified that it was an error
Yeah,
on their part,
I
and
thought
they
I
just
saw
couldn't reissue the table.
they're all good.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any further comments? Motion? Ann?
I'll put for a motion for approval of this variance application, subject to the
No. Forestry satisfied.
forestry's okay. It's subject to approval, or subject to construction in accordance with the site plans we have in front of us.
Okay, motion to approve, tying it to site plan by Ms. McCauley. Do I have a seconder? Ms. Omen, all in favor? You have your approval with that condition. Thank you. We now move on to item 40, which is our last item of the day. So we apologize to whoever has this last item. It is 3 Kingsbury Crescent. This is an application to demolish the existing 1.5-story dwelling and to construct a new 2-story dwelling. We have a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, cover letter from the agent. We have staff reports from Community Planning, Transportation Services, RNFP, and Urban Forestry saying no conditions. We have correspondence and support from 33 Lakeside Avenue. And do we have the agent with us?
Mr. Bronskill, you've been unmuted.
Oh.
Thank you, staff. Good evening, Mr. Chair. Last name Bronskill, first initial D for David.
David, I don't know if it's kismet or something that you're the last guy, but I'm sure there's some anecdote that I'll use in the future to this effect. Welcome, sir. You have waited ever so long to be here with us, and I feel I'd shortchange you if I didn't give you an opportunity to give us a very brief overview of your application.
I can do that, sir, and because I did want to touch on 2 things for the committee, and in fact, the late timing of this ended up being very helpful today because there are 2 counselor letters in the file, and I wanted to thank the counselor's staff for engaging today. We saw the counselor's letter this morning. I called the counselor's office. One of the staff members, Tamara, called me back very quickly. We've had 2 conversations today to go through the different plans, explain the variances, explain the relationship of the new structure to the bluffs and the natural heritage area, talk about the TRCA sign off of this as a replacement dwelling, and that led to the second counselor letter today. And so I am extremely appreciative of how they engaged with me today. So the additional time actually helped have that conversation this afternoon. The only thing I would note, and I apologize if I misled the counselor's office, it notes in that letter that the architect, that was me. While maybe having done enough of these, I might get qualified to provide architectural evidence at a hearing. I am not an architect, so it was actually me, the lawyer, having that conversation. I apologize if that wasn't clear to the counselor's office. But there is a second letter. That second letter rightfully picks up on the planning staff report that recommends a condition of approval. That condition of approval is an important condition of approval because one of the variances related to depth seems a bit odd when you look at it numerically, but it's because it's measured from the front setback. So the building length is 17 meters, but we have a depth variance of 27.64 because we are basically siting the house where the existing house is today. We're keeping the setback that characterizes the street, It's helping us keep any construction out of the tree protection zone for tree number 2, which is a huge tree in the front of the property. And so it's allowing the house to be put in the right location, frankly. But that condition ensures that we then don't use that depth variance inappropriately, that it keeps us tied to the site plan that you see on the screen before you. So you can see the length there on the right-hand side of the house at 17, and then you can see the depth sort of on an angle next to the car, and it measures from that curved line up at the street to the back corner there of the house at 27.64. That's part of the discussion that I had today with the counselor's office to confirm for them that the house itself doesn't have a depth or length of 27.64 meters. The other thing, sir, I would just touch on very quickly is the transportation report. We've talked to city planning staff about it because we wanted to make sure that we weren't actually binding transportation staff with the condition. Because we are going to work with transportation staff and respect their wishes and narrow up the driveway and the curb cut on the city's public right of way. That's the request. They're fine with our driveway width where it expands closer to the house to enable parking, because we kind of wrap around the tree there you can see on the site plan, then it expands out a little bit. It also expands out coming up to Kingsbury, but staff have said no, they don't support that. We abide by that. It doesn't change the variances, and we confirmed with planning staff that we didn't need to revise the site plan at this stage. They're fine with the condition as is, recognizing that we won't be able to have the wider driveway in the public right of way. So it was productive to make sure that I could come forward and say, I think everything you have from staff, from neighbors, and from the councilors in support. And we accept the conditions. There's, I think, an urban forestry condition. And as I noted for you, the important condition from city planning, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Panel, any questions of Mr. Bronskill? Seems fairly well explained. All right. Let's take this into committee. Anyone want to take this one on?
I think I understand this site plan. I also see that somebody has written in here that the TRCA have confirmed the shoreline hazard limit. I don't have any comments from TRCA saying that they are in agreement. Initially, I was thinking that what we should do is we should defer this until we have confirmation from TRCA, because often what happens, and the applicant probably is quite aware of this, is that even though, first of all, he's not allowed to build, but because he's building a replacement, he is allowed to build. But when he goes to TRCA, often they will say, you're allowed to build, but we would prefer if you take a corner off your building to make it a little bit better. And that sometimes means that they have to come back to us for a change in the variance. I think from what he has said, most of that has already been done. And therefore, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I have no problems.
That's risky, Ms. McCauley.
And if this house falls into the down the bluffs, I'll have to eat my words.
Okay. I'm going to go to Mr. Bronskill. Is there anything you'd like to add with respect to the TRCA involvement in the project?
I can confirm extensive discussions today with TRCA. They have confirmed two things for us, which I think should give the committee, actually three things, which should give the committee comfort. One is this is a replacement dwelling, so applying their guidelines and policies, it is a replacement dwelling. Second, they've given us preliminary approval based on these drawings, and so we're not going to, they actually weren't writing into the committee because it's a compliant replacement dwelling. But third, we do have to ultimately get a permit, and the work that's being done for that permit relates, frankly, less to the house, but has a geotechnical engineer, a shoreline engineer and a structural engineer all engaged with TRCA to confirm that everything is going to work. So we have their preliminary approval, and we've got all of the engineers engaged already to ensure that the permit will issue. So I hope that gives the committee comfort. The clients and the architects did do some good preliminary work with TRCA. I didn't do any of that. They did, and they should get the credit.
Yeah. What you're saying gives me some confidence. I know that TRCA have been very active in this area, that their requirements have tightened, and the fact that they're still willing to talk to you gives me some confidence that perhaps this can proceed.
Okay, that's great. Any further questions? Let's go into committee. Anyone, Ann, did you want to move the motion on this one?
Yeah, I'll move the motion.
Doesn't sound very enthusiastic.
I'm just looking at all the conditions. I don't know that I have any conditions written down.
There's
here.
a planning condition and forestry number 2.
Okay. Move approval of the application for 3 Kingsbury Crescent, subject to urban forestry conditions and the community planning conditions.
Okay, motion by Ms. McCauley to approve with those conditions. Do I have a seconder? Ms. Oman, all in favor? You have your approval. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you to the panel. Good luck getting home tonight.
Yeah. Thanks. All right, and we are adjourned at 6:38. Thank you all. Good job, staff. Thank you, panel.